Soma, what we're doing is basically taking in oxygen, which we do, and breath work is something that is the living being and the essence of us. And as we go in these spaces of allowing ourselves to breathe and to breathe fully and to breathe in a way where it's, a lot of us think, well, it's not natural, but it is natural, and to flood our body with these beautiful oxygen that we, most of the time, we're all in a state of, breathing up in here, stress, etc. And breath work is something that we all can do. It's natural, it's beautiful.
Welcome to the Way of the Healer Conversations for Change podcast. I'm your host, Darieth Chisholm. Here, you'll meet some of the world's most extraordinary thought leaders and experts, iconic artists and creators, top-performing athletes, successful entrepreneurs, philanthropists, spiritual teachers, shamans, healers, and many, many more. They sit with me, an Emmy Award-winning TV host and former news anchor turned filmmaker and life and business coach, for some powerful conversations for change. What are these conversations about? Healing. Healing all aspects of our mind, body, soul, spirit, this planet, each other, and the systems and structures we're currently living in. You'll learn about topics like plant medicine and psychedelics, spirituality, conscious entrepreneurship, conscious communication, the new earth, quantum leaping, multidimensional living, pleasure, play, and sexuality, breathwork, sound healing, food and supplements, and there's just so much. You're just going to need to subscribe to the channel and listen. Come with me now, behind the curtain, to get the backstory on how and why these remarkable people heal themselves and others, how they lead, what makes them tick, what lights them up, gets them down, keeps them going, and what they believe is the way of the healer. So let's go. Breathwork. And more specifically, somatic breathing. Wow, what an incredibly powerful experience. On this podcast, we certainly talk a lot about alternative forms of healing, and we tend to have our fair share of conversations around plant medicine, psychedelics, and other forms of healing. And this episode around somatic breathwork is just as interesting. I've always been interested in understanding the power of deep breathing and how one can literally begin to heal. And so I invited my very good friend, Brenda Markstein, to talk about somatic breathwork. She is a somatic breathwork healer. And we also dive into the conversation about why we're seeing so many healing retreat centers popping up. She happens to own Rocus Retreat, which is my absolute favorite place to go to experience alternative forms of healing, including breath work and other things. And so we talk about that and how, as a part of her backstory, she discovered that through her own healing, she could create such a sanctuary to invite healers to come and heal. And we talk about The Way of the Healer, my documentary, which is, of course, the name of this podcast. She is an executive producer on my film project. And so you'll get to go behind the scenes and discover what it takes to stand up and say, yep, I'm available to help to produce something like this. So you want to know more about somatic breathwork, if you're interested at all in opening up your own retreat center, and maybe you're just curious about all of the behind-the-scenes production for the Way of the Healer documentary and docuseries, this is one episode you definitely want to take a listen to. And as I always kindly ask and suggest, please subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you're listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, do me a huge favor, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And with that, take a deep breath and let's go. Plant medicine, psychedelics, and cannabis have really helped me deepen my meditation practice and morning routine. And while you don't necessarily need our plant natural allies to assist you in meditation, I find that with meditation, I'm able to have more clarity, direction, purpose, and allow divine guidance and wisdom to flow through me. Stillness and quieting the mind allows you to access more of who and what you truly are. And that's where you can activate more creative expression and fulfillment of your dreams. As a gift to you, my friends, I've designed a special high-frequency activation to help you encode, embrace, and elevate your consciousness to ignite your creativity and passion. It's free and available for a limited time. Go to darieth.com/meditations to receive a guided meditation series with journal prompts and attuned high-frequency sound waves. That's darieth.com/meditations. Oh, we just wrapped up. What a beautiful somatic breathwork session. I am still like on cloud nine. I feel amazing. How does it feel for you as a facilitator of somatic breathwork?
It gives me complete joy, and I know I'm on purpose. And it's so beautiful to be in that space of, I actually, in myself, as we're going through it, I'm in this lovely space of delivering, and it seems so natural to me.
Yeah, it felt so amazing, and joy is exactly what I'm still feeling. I had this extreme sense of joy and bliss, and that energy I'm still very much in. What is somatic breathwork, and how is it that people begin to feel this way?
Well, soma, the word means living wholeness of being, which it comes from a Greek word, and it means body. Soma is body. And what it does is, in soma, what we're doing is basically taking in oxygen, which we do. And breath work is something that is the living being and the essence of us. And as we go in these spaces of allowing ourselves to breathe and to breathe fully and to breathe in a way where it's, a lot of us think, well, it's not natural, but it is natural. And to flood our body with these beautiful oxygen that we, most of the time, we're all in a state of, breathing up in here, stress, etc. And breath work is something that we all can do. It's natural, it's beautiful. And to be trained in this is an awareness for myself.
Yeah, it floods the body with so many feel-good, natural chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, DMT. And so this opportunity to allow your body to really tap into its own natural feel-good chemicals, so to speak, is so readily available for us.
Yeah. And most of us think we have to go to somebody else or do that. Where it's an honor for me to facilitate this because it's another way of modality of healing. But when we're in it, we know that we can carry that feeling to our own home, and to be in that space, to have this beautiful space of, I can now be, if I have a stress moment, I can go, oh, be in that beautiful breath work. And when you learn the what's behind it, as far as what you're really doing is taking care of your body by flooding this with oxygen and then coming and setting your intention, you can create magic.
Yeah, and it very much feels like it's creating magic. Speaking of creating magic, you do that every single day here at Rocus Retreat. I'm so happy that we are literally in your meditation room on this gorgeous property that healers from around the world are coming to. That has got to have you feeling very joyful as well.
To say the least.
Yeah.
But also to feel grounded, to feel like I finally, at this space and time in my life, had a vision, had this purpose, and have it come to fruition right in front of me. And every moment I created this, I did it with such joy and intention. And it is when I'm designing, I'm thinking, oh, what is going to make someone feel good? Because what's going to happen when they enter this space? And I said, this is a place, and it came to me in this beautiful moment, a place where healers come to heal. And we're all healers, don't get me wrong. But I saw this vision of, this is what it looks like, healing in nature. in our natural state of being.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that there are so many alternative forms of healings and pathways to healing and places where people can go to do that. And yet this setting, this beautiful retreat setting nestled into the hills and the mountains, with all of the space available for people to retreat in comfortable settings, when they're sleeping, and then of course finding themselves on the ground doing whatever work that they're doing with the healers that are here, is what makes it so special.
Thank you.
And we've seen this kind of this form of providing facilities this way for people to get away from home, come and be with people, and do the much needed, I'd like to say work, but really what it is play and creation. Yeah.
Oh, beautifully said.
Yeah.
When I correct myself saying no, it's not work. I'm doing the growth and expansion. And here, we're even at Rocas, the retreat, we're also doing growth and expansion. And when people come, the first thing they say, wow, I feel like I arrived home. And I say, Rocas home. I said, home to what? Home to you. And when you come through the gates, we always say, leave judgment and everything you came here with. Come through these gates and leave it out there and open your heart. Open to your heart and look around and see this beautiful wide open spaces, nature at its best.
Yeah.
And because that's what we are, these beautiful beings. We're that connection between, God, the divine, and earth. We are that funnel. We are that connection.
Yeah.
And when we feel that, when we come here, get grounded in the earth. And I created, the air is already here, but I also created these spaces, fire, water, breathing, and spaces where it's unique. And you can like pick and choose what space calls you.
Yeah. Why do you think we're seeing more places like this, retreat centers, healing sanctuaries around the world?
The obvious, and most recent is COVID and what happened on the planet. However we want to look at it, man-made, nature-made, whatever it is, it allows all of us to stay and put in one spot and look around and say, wow, I can't hug someone, I can't do this. And so it asked us to go inside. And a lot of us had to go in that, most of us. And it didn't have a certain victim. You're like, no, I don't care if you were the president. I don't care if you were, how famous you were, or how much money you had. We all were faced with that particular space. And so now healing became huge. And they're looking around going, what is going to heal me? Well, we have to go inside to do that.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier about this feeling very much you being on purpose and having this space available for healers to come into. But give us an idea of your backstory and how you even came to open Rocus Retreat.
Short version?
I know it could be a very long version, but we'll do the short end story.
Yes, having children very young, going through life experiences, and I look at everything happen for us, not to us, and accumulation of all those beautiful years to the kids and the grandkids and everything, and then one moment. I knew I had a calling. I wanted to travel the world. I want to get connected. I wanted to see and sit with spiritual leaders. I wanted to know what food tasted like in Thailand, or go down in the outback where the Aboriginals were, and I climbed Kilimanjaro, and to sit with the Maasai tribe. So I traveled to 43 countries all over the world, and ask. And every time we went to a certain space, I'd ask, "Where's the spiritual leader? What do you follow as a religion? What do you follow as a spiritual place in your camp or whatever?" And I realized, and someone said, "Well, you did all that. What?" I said, "We're all one on the planet. We're all seeking your relationship to who you are, and spirit, however you want to call that." And so when the last place I did from climbing the mountains and teaching classes and being with all these leaders, going to Machu Picchu and Peru and sat with amazing shamans, journeying 6 days and having expanding experiences and then climbing another mountain. And I even went to Burning Man. Then I was in India at a mastermind, and then COVID hit. And I said, oh, I have to go home. And then I realized, oh, I have this beautiful ranch that I purchased 14 years ago. It had been abused in a lot of ways. And when I came back, I saw the abuse and I realized I needed to heal first in order for me to help heal others. My healing had to start first. And I took over a very abused property, which had beautiful bones screaming to get out. I decided it was time. I looked around and I said, okay, this is it. Healing in nature into our natural state of being. And that's where breath work comes in. It's very natural. And when I did that, my intention was set. And I spoke it. And when we speak it and I believe it and I knew it, all the traveling I'd done had brought me to that space. And I was ready. I was ready with my heart. I was ready to heal myself. And from a paintbrush in my hand to digging in the dirt, cleaning out all this stuff, all of a sudden, these beautiful gems started to, appear. And all the beautiful spaces started to evolve. And I knew, it gave me such joy. And the first person that came around the fire and I saw the joy in their faces, I knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be on the planet.
Yeah, and cultivating the space for, as you point out, healers to come to heal, but people in general.
Did you know that beyond this podcast, that I help busy entrepreneurs, storytellers, artists, creatives, and healers who might be feeling a little bit bored and burnt out and trying to figure out what to do next and what's my purpose in life, really find those answers? How? Oh, I say it's through shifting. It's just a matter of shifting your vibration and your frequency to higher states of consciousness and awareness in order to find the answers and live the life that we truly desire to live. So if you want to become a deliberate, conscious creator who is enjoying the creations and the manifestations that you are experiencing in life, then I invite you to be a part of a very special 5-week intensive. You can get all the details at darieth.com/shift to learn more. You can experience wholeness, personal freedom, expanded states of creativity, confidence, and flow while achieving your goals and flourishing in your unique gifts and talents. After this podcast episode, please head over to darieth.com/shift to learn more about it.
So what types of healing modalities are often held here at Rocas?
Oh, where do we start? I opened the floodgates. And what happened was people were called. I mean, I always believe that you hear the calling and it's a heart calling. And we had Kundalini, yoga, Reiki, massage, meditation, PTSD soldiers, helping mothers of autistic children, giving them a space to breathe and feel and gather tools. And the most important thing for me is gathering tools from different modalities, from people who are coming in that have degrees and not, authors, speakers. I mean, the gamut of healers.
Yeah, because this space is really ripe and available for anyone to come and be in, and bringing their own tools and modalities and inviting other people in to work with them here at Rocas. So let's talk about like how many beds and like what the grounds look like. And, I know we're going to have some very beautiful video that people will be able to see, but just so people can get an idea of just how expansive it is here.
The beautiful part is that you have a choice. We have a beautiful little cottage, and you hear the waterfalls out, trickling out outside. Um, and then we have yurts. I mean, you go from that beautiful cottage down to yurts, bell yurts, and you also have a tiny home. Have you ever experienced a tiny home? I fit a little bit better maybe in the tiny
than
home.
I do, right?
Yeah.
Big difference in height.
I'm kind of 5'3", but and then from there we have a ranch house, and it's more family with a big kitchen, and there. And then we also have a winery, because I used to have grapes on property, made my own wine, and at one time, and so I now have a winery that I converted into a place to have dinners in the cellar. And then we also have meditation rooms, walking paths, then a pool and a hot tub, an infrared sauna. So
and a compass deck.
A beautiful deck that came about because I thought of the Buddhist, the circle of how the Buddhists are. And so I thought, oh, that's beautiful. Let's do it as a compass deck, north, south, east, west. Yeah. And the fire pit was round. People could gather. I see a parliament of people gathering and sharing energy around the fire, under the stars. And everything that I was creating was in a natural, beautiful setting. And chefs, fabulous chefs.
Oh, the food is always so good here. Yes.
Healthy chefs. And see, healthy food tastes amazing. Mm-hmm. When you have it. And one of our beautiful chefs, Angela, she says, I just put love into my food. Mm. I want to just, infuse it with love.
Yeah. You use the word parliament of people. Wow, I love that. And, I would like to think that in our own individual paths and walks in life that we're not separate. We're really functioning as one, and to create a space where people can come in and really do the soul play into creation, because I don't like to use the word work either, is beautiful. And so with this idea of parliament of people, what would you offer as a suggestion for someone who might be interested in opening their own retreat space for healing modalities?
Beautiful. Get centered on who you are. And just take that moment and know that every moment and every step we are on this planet is an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to share. And if you're going to open a space, get grounded in what you truly want to do and what gift that you have. For me, is what gift that I wanted to step into. Design was mine. And some maybe I'm a great speaker, and others, whatever it is that you want to present to the world. And then set that intention. And it's amazing when the word now manifest, which is thrown around now, but I believe in that. I believe that you can manifest by seeing what you want to create, feel it, know it, taste it, know it, and this really just know that's exactly, there's a knowing. That's where I want to go and what I'm going to share with others.
Yeah, because I would think that beyond someone deciding that they're going to start a business or want to open a space, when you have something that you're inviting so many people into, you point out your groundedness and your connection to your why. I would assume is the thing that's going to hold you, because there's probably going to be some days where you're this way and in and out and up and whatever so-called obstacles or challenges that may present themselves as, I like to say, opportunities for growth. You being grounded and in your why keeps you firm in your purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in your why. And you ask yourself, I don't ask myself a lot of why questions, I'm kind of static. I feel. What does it feel like? And I step into that. What feeling do you want to create first for yourself? And what do you want to create for others? When they walk into this property, I want them to feel not just the home, but the love. And when I mean love, well, that's thrown around like, oh, you're just going to give them love. No, no. Unconditional love, no judgment, none. And we don't get that a lot on the planet.
No, we don't. And I think when we are the purveyors of that, our life shows up differently because we're not in the energy of judgment.
Yeah.
And that's really beautiful. So
yes.
Yeah. Speaking of gifts and talents and parliaments of people, Brenda is also one of our producers on the Way of the Healer documentary, where I'm just so grateful that our paths crossed in the way that they have. But Brenda's had a history in film, and so to have you as part of this production team is just, I'm just so grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
How does it feel to be working on a project like this?
It's almost as if everything we have done here just was notched up to another, evolution of expansion and belief. And even through my own journeys on this planet, I am so committed to personal growth for everyone, whatever modality they're going to pick. And the Way of the Healer, courageous women. I'm courageous humans. And for me to be a part of it, and yes, I started as a little girl, costume designing and doing stage and plays, and all the way up to, we were really fortunate, one of my production companies, we did win a local Emmy and a few other People Choice Awards. Very proud of the staff. I don't want to say staff, family that we've created. And, beautiful Jamie, who's doing a lot of this work here. You're surrounded. The Way of the Healer.
It has been such use of plant medicine, psychedelics, and consciousness has been a pure pleasure and joy for me to be the voice leading through it, and to be able to use my gifts and talents and to collaborate with others. It also strikes me that we were sitting at a table and just outside of Los Angeles at my film premiere for 50 Shades of Silence, which was my first documentary, and I just put it out there. It's like, I'm gonna do a film about women who are leading the field in plant medicine, and you raised your hand and said, and I'll produce it. And Janie, who's our incredible videographer and editor, raised his hand, and he's like, and I'll film it. And like literally within a couple of weeks, we were off and running.
Yes, we were.
And that is like the backstory on that alone is a story in and of itself. But like for you, I guess the question that I have for you is like for you to witness when someone has an idea about a film or a project or anything, to go from the idea to it coming to fruition, what does that look like to witness that process, and particularly this process?
Yes. What does it look like? Wow. I always go into, because I'm not so much a visual, I go, what does that feel like? And for me is watching it, I mean, it brings me to tears at times because I see these courageous women, which I know that they're stepping out and their voice is being heard. And for them to be, in this space, and I could be part of it, my voice was being heard in the gift that I could produce. If I could produce this land or a set or whatever I could, or people, or be part of it, is my voice as a woman. And if I can help a young woman or another woman who hasn't even been born yet, if they can also step into this and see, wow, look at what we've created, and I remember that documentary, and it gave me an inspiration to do that. I'm part of that? Wow.
Yes, yeah, you certainly are. So I always ask my guests on the podcast to share their own personal definition or understanding or meaning of what is the way of a healer.
What is the way of a healer? What always love, it's how we love ourselves and how we're going to heal ourselves. And I think the planet, brings me to tears right now. Yeah, is to learn to love ourselves. And I don't care if that sounds trite, feeling it totally, it isn't. And how we do that, it permeates the people around us and the earth. And that's what it's all about. The way of the healer is first love yourself. But then, and then it's like a waterfall of when it just pours out and you can't stop it from that point.
I love you, my friend, so much. Love you, love you, love you. Thank you so very much. What a beautiful episode. I want to thank you all for watching or listening, and whatever platform you're listening or watching on, do us a huge favor and please subscribe. Certainly if you're watching this on YouTube, I encourage you to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any episode. All of the details about Rocus Retreat and Brenda will be available on the show notes page beneath this video, as well as on any podcast platform that you're listening on. So thank you, my dear soul sister.
My pleasure.
Yeah, friend. And thank you all for watching and listening. Did you know this podcast is a part of an even larger docuseries? Yep, there's an entire documentary underway called The Way of the Healer, where I introduce you to extraordinary women from around the world who are transforming lives with the use of plant medicine and psychedelics. You can learn more about it at thewayofthehealer.com. Thanks for being a part of my day and for listening. Be sure to check out the website, thewayofthehealer.com, for more details, useful tools and links, free resources, and more. Disclaimer: The Way of the Healer Conversation for Change podcast and its host and guests are providing this information for educational purposes only. We do not condone nor condemn the selling, purchase, or use of any substances that are considered outside of legal acquisition or usage. We encourage discretion and safety when involving yourself or others with substances and activities that are deemed illegal by your official local government laws and agencies. It is your responsibility to research and know applicable laws.